and thank you for watching another episode of our RHI. Stories of courage, hope, attitude, and inspiration. I have Robbie and Lisa Roberts. They're going to be talking a little bit about their over 100-day journey. So Lisa, why don't you go ahead and take it away.
First of all, they told me he had a head injury with a small brain bleed. And they said, we're going to start from the top, we're going to go to the bottom. And I was like, okay. And then they said he had an internal decapitation. An internal decapitation is where your head separates from your spine. Then they said he had a tear in his aorta. The impact of the crash caused a tear in his aorta. They said he had broken ribs. Both of his lungs had totally collapsed. They collapsed at the seam. This is my miracle man, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then they said he had a fractured sternum. His pelvic was shattered. His femur, his hip. He had a leg broken in 4 to 5 places, and he had a broken left arm. He was banged up and bruised, and they just said, we're going to take it one thing at a time. And, just to get him stable. And he had a grade 5 spleen injury as well. And that's where the bleeding was coming from inside. Mm-hmm. And then we were physically stable to come to RHI.
Yes.
When we came to RHI,
best decision.
Yes, and what did we say was going to happen when we come to RHI? We were going to leave what?
I'm going to leave here walking.
That's right. Now, okay, so Robbie had been non-weight bearing all this time. So he had never walked in 90, okay, so you got to help me here. 102 days today.
It's going to be a math question.
And 5 days. 5 days ago?
Yeah, it was last Saturday.
Last Friday
Friday's whenever we found out I could be weight bearing. So Saturday, on my first therapy, they said, hey, we're going to go, you're weight bearing. And my mind was, I was just going to go over there and I'm going to go from a wheelchair, stand up, sit down in a wheelchair, stand up like that. Oh no. Whenever we went into therapy, the therapist told me, said, well, you're going to walk, we're going to go down the parallel bars.
Right.
And whenever they said that, I went, what?
Yeah, I did too. I was like,
I hadn't walked for 90-some days.
It was 97. I just figured it up. I think it's 97 days.
So my feet hadn't been on the ground for that long. And whenever they told me, yeah, we're going to try and walk down there, I was like, what? But whenever I got up and I took that first step.
It was amazing.
Oh, it felt great.
Yes.
I went about a third down that parallel bar, and I had to sit because my legs just felt like wet noodles.
I was gonna say Jello or what?
No, my goodness.
I know exactly.
I mean, whenever I'd pick up that foot, I didn't know where in space it was going until it hit the ground. And then I took more steps. I made it a little further. Then we got down to the end. And they said, okay, now we're going to do it again. And I went, what? And it backed up. And this time I went halfway.
Yes.
I made progress.
He did it.
And then whenever they brought me back out, they said, okay, now we're going to go walking in a walker.
We're going to try a walker.
And I went, what?
And he did it.
We went in a walker. Granted, it wasn't too pretty.
But he was
doing it. I was walking. And I told him, I said, I come here not to play games.
Right.
I come here because I wanted to walk out of here. And I will tell you this, the therapy that I have received, and it's tiring. I mean, they're going to put you through the work. But if you will do the work, you are going to see major results. And in a matter of just a few days, I'm just totally blown away.
Yeah, he's only been walking for 6 days.
By how far I have come.
In 6 days.
And initially they were saying, you're going home wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
And I said, I didn't come here to be wheelchair bound.
Yeah, we cried. He was like, we want to walk.
I come here to walk.
but Robbie wasn't, and RHI still took him, and they focused on his arms, his core, and his legs, and that prepared him for when he could walk. When we first came here, and that first time they would try to have him slide on the board to the wheelchair,
oh my,
he couldn't even do it.
I'm
He just
talking
couldn't do it.
get up off the bed,
Yeah. And
just a
now he
half
just,
inch.
he just zooms. It's amazing. And
I
you know,
went from trying to get on a slide board to go from bed to wheelchair to now I'm from a bed to a walker.
yes.
And I know you touched on about not being a member, and that's so true, because yesterday, was it just yesterday when you gifted us with your song?
And that was part of a therapy session.
That was a therapy
And,
session.
and what it was an hour of therapy. We was in the chapel. We was in there singing some songs. But the therapy about that was how long I could stand, not
And sing.
holding on to anything, and sing. And I was moving my hands back and forth, holding on to the mic while I was standing, not assisting.
And when we first came here, even his voice was not strong.
Oh, it wasn't.
He was very weak. His voice has gotten so much better. And that's like when I heard him sing, I just cried because his voice was normal.
Yes.
He sang his song like he would sing it in church.
Thank you. Well, I don't think we could end on a better note. Truly. It is nothing short of miraculous. And if
That's
you,
right.
there's also another posting we posted, I think, earlier, right, with you singing Amazing Grace, so you can see. So for him to be standing up and be doing that was truly
A miracle.
It truly is a miracle. So
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
your
for
story.
asking us.
For sharing.
Thank you.
And my name is Janine Stelmack. I'm a donor services officer with the RHI Foundation. There is a link below where you can click, and we do ask you, especially during this time and with COVID, if you can, please make a gift so we can have more of these stories. Thank you very much.